Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maureen. Today's video I am going to do a life lessons video. I recently turned 30 and I wanted to come on and tell you guys 30 life lessons that I think you should know, or that I learned before I turned 30. So these are in no particular order. I just wrote them down as I thought of them. So number one is to not give unsolicited advice. Throughout my years of life, I have learned that people are gonna do what they wanna do. Even with myself, I'm gonna do what I wanna do, and I don't need people's unsolicited advice. And I don't give my unsolicited advice. If nobody asks for my opinion on a situation that they have going on, of what they should do, I don't get involved. I mind my business and I'll listen if you want to talk about it, if you just want to get it off your chest and vent, but I'm not going to give my input because it really doesn't matter. Like, they're gonna do what they want to do. The second one is don't take unsolicited advice. So I don't give unsolicited advice and I don't take advice from people when I don't ask. If I'm telling somebody something and then they just start giving their advice or their input when I didn't ask, I just ignore it. I don't even take what they're saying into consideration because it's like, I didn't ask you. Like, I'm not telling you this for your advice, okay? So I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna do what I believe is best for myself, and I don't take other people's advice. I have found when I've taken people's advice, and then like it didn't turn out how I wanted to turn out, then I would be kind of salty with them. But it's like, well, I shouldn't have listened to you in the first place. I should have listened to myself. Number three, take into consideration the person you're asking advice from. So for example, if you need financial advice, why would you ask someone who is horrible with money? Like, that's just unwise. Recently I had somebody asking me what they should do with their finances, and I'm just like, one, you barely know me. Like, you just met me 2 days ago. Why are you asking me if you should withdraw all your money from your bank and start up a business? Like, I'm not gonna give you advice. I told her, I'm like, you should consult a finance professional. That's not my industry, and I would never tell you what to do with your money ever. And it's so unwise for you to even ask me what to do with your own money. Like, that's just like so unwise. So if that person you're asking advice from doesn't have experience in what you're needing advice from, why are you asking them? You should really reconsider asking them and ask somebody who is more experienced in that area. Number four, have boundaries and stand on them. This is something I've definitely learned. I would say I had really weak boundaries growing up, or I thought I had boundaries, but when push came to shove, like, those boundaries went out the window, and it only causes resentment towards that person. Then you get angry at yourself because you didn't put boundaries in place and you were kind of walked all over and disrespected. So have boundaries, know what your boundaries are, and stand on those boundaries when it's time to stand on them, and don't back down. Number five, don't do things you don't want to do. This goes for any and everything. Really be in tune with what you want. Even something as simple as if somebody asks you to go out. If you don't want to go out, say no, I don't want to go out. And saying I don't want to is enough justification. You don't need an elaborate reason of why you don't want to do something. If you don't want to, you can just say I don't want to and leave it like that. Don't do what you want to do, and do what you want to do. Number 6, stop spending money frivolously and only buy what you absolutely love. So I used to be a super shopaholic, and I would just buy things just because they were on sale, or I'm like, oh, this is a good deal, or this is cute, or maybe I can wear this one day and I have nothing to wear it to, but I'll just buy whatever. Even if it wasn't something I absolutely loved or just had to have. Now I'm much more careful with what I spend my money on, and I pick and choose very carefully. I'll put things up on my websites that I shop at. I'll add them to my wish list, or I'll like favorite them and just let it sit, and then I'll come back later, and if I still want it then I get it, but if not, half the time I forget that I even was looking at it. So take your time when you're deciding what you want to purchase and what you need to purchase versus what you want to purchase. Number 7 is return items. I know a lot of people, they don't want to go through the hassle of returning things and printing out a return slip and like going to FedEx or UPS or wherever to return it. If I buy something and I don't like it, I'm returning it, I'm getting my money back. It's such a waste of money to keep something that you don't want, that you're not going to use. Like, it's such a waste of money. Take the extra 10 minutes out of your day and just return it. It's so easy actually to just go to FedEx. FedEx makes it really, if they ship it by FedEx, it's so easy to just like go there and return it. All you have to do is scan a code and you're done, and you get your money back, and then you can spend that money on something else that you want. Like, so if you don't want something, or you don't need something doesn't work for you, return it. Don't be lazy. Get up and go return it. It's easy. Number 8, it's not your job to save or change anyone. And this goes for absolutely anyone. People you're dating, friends, you can't change them and you can't save them. They are who they are. Let them be who they are. If you're cool with that, cool. If not, then it's time to dip, which leads me to number, what is this, 9? I lost count, but it leads me to the next one. Is leave people where they're at. So you can't change someone, you can't save someone. You have to really decide if that person fits into your life, if you want them as a friend, if they're on the same path as you, and if not, you just have to leave them where they're at. Like, love them from afar, pray for them, keep it pushing. And I think this is a hard thing to do, especially with friends that you've known for such a long time. And it's like, okay, well, if that's my friend and I've been with them for forever, but we all grow and change. And I think a good way to really consider if somebody should be in your life currently, especially if you've known them for a long time, is to ask yourself, if you met them today for who they are today and who you are today, would you want to be friends with them? And if the answer is no, then just leave them where they're at and move on with your life and go on about your business. The next one is learn from your mistakes. If you don't learn from your mistakes, you're gonna keep repeating them, for sure. So I think this is just like self-explanatory. Learn from your mistakes. If you don't, you're gonna keep on repeating the same mistakes and you're gonna go in circles and you're not gonna progress in life or go anywhere. You have to learn from your mistakes. Take the time to reflect on the situation and take in what you can do differently or what you should have done, so you don't repeat what happens if it comes up again. Keeping in theme with mistakes, forgive yourself for your mistakes. And I know it's easy to beat yourself up about things you've done, but you have to keep in mind that you're not the same person that you were when you made that mistake. You didn't know back then, but now you know. So I think it's easier to forgive other people who have wronged you, and it takes a little more time, at least for me, to forgive myself, because I'm kind of hard on myself, and I'll beat myself up like, oh my gosh, like I was so stupid, I can't believe I did that, or I should have known better. But the reality is you didn't know, and it's okay you didn't know. We don't know things. That's what life is about, is learning and just evolving. So forgive yourself. Everyone makes mistakes. It's okay. As long as you learn from your mistakes and you forgive yourself, you can move forward and be happy. It's not easy. It'll take some time, but it's definitely possible. This is a good one. Follow your intuition. There have been so many times that I have done things, taken jobs that I knew just were not a good fit for me, dated people, went places that deep down I'm just like, this isn't a good idea. And I didn't follow my intuition. I probably asked other people for their opinion and listened to them instead of me, even though it went against what I thought. As women, we have a very strong intuition, and if you're in tune with your intuition, then you're gonna make the right decision. It's about what you need, what you want. So listen to your intuition, sit with your decision for a while before you make a decision, and don't let anybody's opinion sway what you really feel is the right choice for you. Next, this is more, well, no, this has to do with like relationships and friendships, but don't try to turn red flags green. There's been so many times I've ignored so many red flags, and I just look back and I'm like, bro, that was the reddest flag you could have ever seen. And there's been times I've given people chance after chance after chance, and this is like with friends too. Like, if you see a red flag, run. Is red. Colors don't change, okay? This isn't a mood ring. A red flag is a red flag. And I have tried to turn so many, not even tried to turn them green, I've just ignored them. In the past, I've just ignored red flags. Like, even with friends, I would, because I think I'm a very, I don't hold grudges. I get over things quickly. So if some time passes and like, I mean, to me it's like, okay, we're cool. Like, I'm not mad at you, you know, it's like, we're cool. And then the same thing will happen. Like, and I look back on friendships, relationships, and I'm like, the flag was right there. It was waving in my face. It was right in front of my face. And I was just completely colorblind to it. Do not ignore red flags. It will not go away. And the same red flag you ignore is going to be the exact same red flag that ends whatever it is. Trust me on that one. Next one, accept and love your body. I think, especially as women, we're very nitpicky about our body. Of course, we have insecurities and like things we just don't like, or things we wish. Like, I wish my boobs were bigger. I don't think it's gonna happen, okay? I'm 30 now. It's been like this since like I was 12. Like, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And I will be shocked if it does happen. I've always been naturally skinny. Growing up in the South, especially around a lot of black people, if you're skinny, they're like, you need to eat, like, you don't eat. Mind you, I eat a lot, okay? I love to eat, I love food. I just have a high metabolism. I'm naturally skinny, genetics. and I would always try and like work out and make my body bigger. Well, not try, like not make my body bigger, but try and make my booty bigger and like just nitpick myself, like, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, I wish I was shaped like this. But it's like, you're not, okay? And I think now I'm really comfortable in my body. I actually really like my body. If you can change your body, it's like, if it's something you really, really, really don't like, you can change it. I mean, do what you feel is necessary. But even if you do, you're still gonna be nitpicking about something else. I think you're not truly going to be satisfied unless you really love you for who you are. So I like my body now. I've accepted it. I've accepted being a naturally small, slim woman, and I like it. I actually like it. I like my size. And my mom would always be like, oh my gosh, why do you want to gain weight? Like, enjoy being skinny. And I enjoy it now. I do enjoy it. I like it a lot. Okay? Just stay in shape. Get in shape. Stay in shape. Be healthy. Be the healthy version of you, what your body is. Don't reward anyone for bad behavior, and cut people off sooner rather than later. Now I have very, very low tolerance for anybody. I really don't care. Like, I will block you with the quickness. Nowadays, you say one thing I don't like, I'm blocking you. Whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter if I've known you 5 days, if I've known you 5 years. If you're just not it, if you're disrupting my peace, I'm gonna block you. I'm at a place in my life, I have peace, and I don't need anybody coming to my life disturbing my peace. So if you're disrupting that and disturbing that, if being around you makes me feel anxious or just doesn't make me feel good about myself, then I'm gonna remove you from my life, and I'm gonna block you, and I'm not gonna speak to you again, because I don't need that negativity in my life. Next, keep your business to yourself. Don't tell people your business. Don't tell people what you have plans on doing. There's so many things that I plan on doing that nobody has no idea. Like, I don't tell my business to anybody, even my friends, my family. I don't tell them. I find that half the time when I tell people stuff, it just doesn't work out. It doesn't go as planned. And then the other half of the time, it's like somebody always trying to discourage you from what you want to do or shit on your plans. And it's like, like, I was happy before I told you, and now you're just bringing negativity, which is their opinion, their unsolicited opinions that you didn't ask for. So I keep my business to myself. I've told a way too much of my business in the past to people, and people will judge you for what you tell them. They'll look at you sideways or whatever. I just think you should keep what is yours to yourself, and when it's time to tell, then you can tell. Or I keep it very vague, but things that are very important to me, that are near and dear to my heart, I don't tell people. I keep it to myself. Next one, control your emotions and make decisions when you're calm and after you've slept on it. So I'm an emotional woman. I'm very sensitive, always have been, and I've really had to learn how to not act on my emotions, because there's been times where I just reacted based on my emotions and caused a lot of like stress and uproar that didn't need to be there. Like, sometimes you just gotta take a breath, think about it, think about what you're gonna say, and then say it, because when you say things based off your emotions, you're not thinking clearly. So I've learned to really, if something upsets me, I feel my emotions. I feel what I feel and why I feel that way, and then I decide, okay, how am I going to respond? Because you don't want to say anything that you're going to regret, or you don't want to make a decision that you're going to regret. So control your emotions. Don't be reactive when it comes to making decisions based on your emotions. Next one is always take accountability for your part in situations. If you have an argument or something happens, somebody gets upset, always try to see things from the other person's perspective, and especially if it's somebody who you care about. Like, you always want to try and see things from their point of view and take accountability for your part, because it's always something you can take accountability for. One thing I can't stand is people who don't take accountability, who don't think they're ever wrong. So take accountability for your part in the situation. It's the mature thing to do. The next one, don't be too proud to apologize. This kind of goes hand in hand with taking accountability, is being able to decipher, being able to acknowledge your wrongs, and being able to apologize. It doesn't hurt to say sorry. I remember one time, a friend who I hadn't spoken to, we had kind of like fizzled out, just like in our separate ways. And he came to visit me and apologized for something that had happened like 2 years prior that I completely was over. Like, I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't angry at him. Like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, we're cool, whatever. And he apologized for it, and that just really, it made me, it was nice to hear. It was just really nice to hear him acknowledge something that he had done, you know. It was nice to hear him acknowledge his part in a situation that I wasn't angry about. To me, it was whatever. But it was like a messed up thing to do 2 years ago, but I was over it. But it's always nice to apologize. Even if you think, oh, well, that happened so long ago, I don't want to apologize, like it's whatever. You never know. Like, it could be the start of a reconciliation between a friend that you haven't spoken with. Or it's just nice to hear. And it's always nice to know that somebody cares enough to apologize, even if it's sometime later. It just shows that you care and you respect that person, that you're acknowledging something that happened, and just saying like hey, look, I'm sorry, you know, like you thought about it. It's like, you know what, that was messed up. Like, I really am sorry. So it's okay to say you're sorry. I think it's a mature thing to do. Next, be kind to people and yourself. This is kind of a basic in life. You don't want to be mean. I never like mean people. Like, there's no need to be mean. It's very important to be kind, and especially be kind to yourself, because if you can't be kind to yourself, you can't be kind to nobody. So try to just be a little more kind. I know I still, you know, I may snap on people here and there or get an attitude, but overall I really do try to be a kind person and pleasant to be around and positive attitude. So just be a little more kind. Next is being grateful for what you have. We always want more than what we have, but you have to take a moment and just be grateful. Just be grateful for the things you do have. Be grateful for the sunshine. Being grateful for the nice weather. Be grateful for the house you live in. It may not be the biggest house that you want, but it's like, at this moment, people always say this, you prayed for what you have right now. So there was a moment in time you didn't have what you have, and now you have it. So be grateful that you have it. We always want more, but sometimes I think we forget to appreciate the things that we have. So remember to be grateful. Oh, and I kind of talked about this, but the next one is enjoy the present moment. So stop focusing so much on the future. This is probably like a big one that I had to really learn to work on, is just being present. Like, I overthink. I've always been an overthinker and thinking about, oh my gosh, what would happen if I do this, or if I do that, what's gonna happen, yada yada yada. But it's nice when you just take some time, get off your phone, and really just enjoy the present moment, whether it be by yourself, whether it be with friends, family, and just enjoy that moment. Okay. Oh, and I want to say, like, the future is gonna come. There's no point in just worrying about the future. All that does is cause anxiety. I think a lot of times we focus so much on what we have to do or where we want to be that we don't take the time to just enjoy where we are in the moment. Just soak in the moment and really enjoy yourself, because that moment is gonna pass, and then eventually you're gonna look back like, oh my gosh, that was such a good time, and you didn't appreciate it enough. So really focus on the moment and enjoy the moment. Next one is it's okay to change. We should be changing through life. I'm a completely different person than I was last year. I'm a completely different person than I was 2 years ago. Like, the person I was last year is not the same person I was 2 years ago. The person I am right now is not the same person I was 6 months ago. Like, I'm a totally different person, and it's totally okay to change. And it's also okay if you change and you're not like compatible with certain people anymore. It's okay. Doesn't mean they're bad people. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. But embrace changing and welcome it, because we all should be changing. We all should be maturing and growing, and it's okay. Just know it's okay to change. Don't let anybody shame you for being a different person than you were a year ago, or 5 years ago, or 5 weeks ago. Like, don't let anybody shame you into being a better person, I should say. We don't want to negatively change, positively change. So it's okay to change. The next one is be honest about your feelings. This one is more so geared towards dating in relation to ghosting people. I know that's become very normalized nowadays, is ghosting people. I've never ghosted anyone. I don't think I've ever been ghosted either. Like, just be honest. Like, I see people making videos and they're like, they don't like someone, and then they just like ignore their text messages, or like being very dry with their response. Like, be honest with how you feel. If you don't like someone, straight up say like, hey, I don't think we're compatible, or hey, I don't like you, or like, you're a nice guy, but I don't think, we align. Like, be honest. Just be mature, grow up, and be honest about your feelings. I don't think you should ever ghost someone. I think it's very rude. I think it's immature. And the person would respect you much, much more, and you will respect yourself more if you were just honest. Whether you like someone, whether you don't like someone, say how you feel. Don't be a pussy. Say how you feel. The next one is take care of yourself, body, mind, and soul. You want to eat healthy, of course, exercise, but you also want to take care of your mind and your soul. So pray, read your Bible, spend some time alone. For me, I get very overwhelmed if I'm around people for too long. Like, I need my alone time. So I always make sure to take my alone time and spend time with myself, because it recharges me and it makes me be more enjoyable to be around. So take care of yourself in every way, in every facet possible. Next one, write down what you want. So this is in terms of your career, your life, what you want in relationships. Write it down so you can have a clear picture on what you want in your life and what you want to achieve. That way, when you come across something that doesn't align with what you want, you already know. Like, you've seen it, it's in the back of your mind, it's in the forefront of your mind. You know what you want, you have a clear picture, and if you come across something like, hey, this isn't gonna get me to where I want to go, then you have no problem letting go of it, because it's not what you want out of your life. So write down what you want. Next one, define success for you. Everybody has a different idea of what success looks like. For some people, it's climbing the corporate ladder, becoming VP or president or CEO of a company. For other people, it may be going to live in the country and having a farm. Like, define what your life would be successful, how your life would be successful, and go after that. Don't let other people's definition of success be pushed onto you to where you're trying to live out someone else's idea of a successful life, because you won't be happy. So find out, really think about what would make you happy and what you think would be successful for you, and go after that. The next one is take photos. Take a ton of photos. I love looking back I have like every single photo I've ever taken on my phone. And I absolutely love going back and looking at photos. Or like, you know, when your phone pops up photos from like a year ago or 3 years ago, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I remember that. And then you go back and look at more of the photos, and it's just like such a time to be able to remember it and relive it in a way by looking at the photos. So take photos, because you'll want to look back on them and be like, oh my gosh, I remember that, or wow, it was so hot back then. Take photos, because you always want to be able to remember. You can always remember, but once you see a photo, it just makes that memory so much more intense. It's like, oh my gosh, I remember exactly what happened that day. So take photos. 29, because I have one more after this. Maintain your friendships. This one for me, I wrote this down because over the past, I would say like year or two, I really, I was going through a lot in some moments, and my friends were really just there for me, and I really appreciated it, and it made me want to be a better friend, because there were some ways where my friends were, I would say, better friends to me than I was to them in some ways. And I'm like, you know what, I really want to be a better friend. So I really stepped my friendship game up, I would say, over the past year, and I've been a really good friend, I think. I've been a good friend. No, I don't think, I know. I'm a good friend. So maintain your friendships, because your friends will be there for you always and forever, and you should always be able to count on your friends. So water those friendships and let them grow and blossom, because you need friends to get through life. When people say they don't have any friends or they don't need any friends, I think that's just very sad, because you do need friends. Everybody needs a friend, at least one friend. So take care of your friendships, maintain your friendships the same way you would maintain a relationship. Make sure you're maintaining that friendship. And number 30, the last one, is don't be afraid to feel and express your emotions. So for me, I was emotionally unavailable, probably, I would say up until I was like 26. Like 26-ish. And like, the thing is, I didn't even know I was emotionally unavailable until one day I was reading a Twitter thread, and I was talking to this guy at the time, And I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a surface level thing we have going on. Like, I want it to be deeper and develop, like what's going on. And I was on Twitter. I used to be on Twitter all the time, obsessed with Twitter. I don't get on Twitter anymore, but I saw this Twitter thread. It said, how to know if the person you're dating is emotionally unavailable. And then I was like, let me click this because I know he's emotionally unavailable for sure. And then I started reading it and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the problem. Like, I'm emotionally unavailable and I didn't even know it. And so from there, like, I was like, I have to fix this. This is not what I want to be. So I went to therapy and like I just like really worked at myself. And now I am so emotionally available. And I guess I would be afraid to like feel my feelings. Like, I didn't even know what feelings were, if I'm being honest. I remember when I was in one of my therapy sessions, my therapist was like, I think he asked me a question and I was like, well, I feel like, and he's like, no, that's not a feeling. Like, you can't say that. And I was just like, what do you mean? He's like, you think that, but that's not a feeling, because when you say phrases like, well, I feel like they hate me, then that's a belief that you have in your mind, but that's not a feeling. Like, that's not a feeling. And he was like, what's a feeling statement? Just give me some feelings. And I was like, happy, sad. And he's like, yes, like those are feelings. So when you say I feel, you have to say a feeling. You can't be like, oh, I feel like you're mad at me. Like, that's not a feeling. That's a thought you have that you think is a fact, but it's not a feeling. So really become in tune with, I really have to become in tune with my emotions and my feelings and recognize, what am I feeling? And learn to express that and to communicate that. And so, wait, what was my last point? It takes practice, but I'm definitely in tune with myself now, and I'm not afraid to express how I feel. If somebody hurts my feelings, I'm like, you know what? When you did that, I really felt disappointed. And it's easy now, and I like it. I feel I feel more in tune with myself, and it's easier to have, I think, healthier relationships with people when you know how to express, like, you know what you're feeling and you know how to express that, and you know how to recognize those feelings. Like, okay, let me tell you something. So that's it. Learn to express your feelings. Be comfortable with expressing your feelings, especially as a woman. Like, we're just like naturally feely people. It's okay to express your feelings. It's okay. Even for men, I think men should definitely learn and know that it's okay to express how you feel. It doesn't make you weak. I used to hate crying in front of people. Now I cry at a drop of a dime. Like, I don't care. If I want to cry, I'm gonna cry. And it's good to be able to just release those emotions and not feel embarrassment about it. So that's all I have to say on that. Those are my 30 life lessons that I learned before 30. Yeah, before 30. So those are my 30 life lessons that I learned before 30 and that I think other people should know. You guys should know. Thank you guys for watching. What are some life lessons that you have learned? Leave them in the comments below. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them and I will respond or answer your questions. But that's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.